Hi, everybody. I just wanted to share an experience I recently had that causes me to feel like I'm still in my Job season. Um, so in Job 1 and 18 through 19, it states that your son and daughters were eating and drinking wine in the oldest brother's house, and suddenly a great wine came from across the wilderness and struck the four corners of the house, and it fell on the young people, and they are dead. So, in this experience with Job, he lost his children. Um, and the reason why I feel that this is my experience because I recently lost my nephew 3 weeks ago. He was 11 months years. I always say years. He was 11 months old, and he had heart disease. The Lord told me that he will live, and he will live a prosperous life, and I stood on that for 11 months. But unfortunately, my sister decided to believe a lie, which was coming from the doctors, that he will be built bed bound all his life. But Jesus told me otherwise. But she decided to believe the doctors, and even what the doctors said of him just being, well, anyways, she decided to believe the doctors, believe the lie, and he is no longer with us. And I've been having a really, really hard time with this, just because he was a big part of my life, uh, because I spent so much time praying for him. I feel pain in my heart, in my stomach. I feel the pain, and I start to, like, I know the words that God tells us. But when I went through this, I couldn't I couldn't rely on those words. Um, I know that God is good and that all things work out for His good and for us as well. But I couldn't understand, and I still don't understand. But He did have a conversation with me, so I do have peace about where He is and what happened. And He did not lie. He prophesied Nehemiah's future. He so that it made it easier to stand on faith that he will be okay. I just didn't know that my prayer should also have been against the lies that was spoken against him. But again, I I know that God is good. I know He's great. I know all this, but at the time I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel it. And it's so hard to see children or babies. Like, I took a walk today and I seen these, they had to at least been 3 years old, walking and holding hands. And I looked at them and I said that I would never get to see Nehemiah like that. And I just started to cry because of what I won't get to experience with him. And it's also hard to see. I keep on thinking about his little hands and his little feet because he was such a strong boy. Ever since he was born, he came in this world fighting, and he was a fighter, and he got through a lot of it. So, um, I I listened to a song from Naomi. I think her last name is Renee, and it says in the lyrics, it says, "Change my definition of good, Because sometimes I think I'm misunderstood, but it won't change my definition of you. Because you are good, you are good. And I feel that sometimes we define what is good. And because what we want and how we experience that things should be doesn't mean that that is how it's supposed to be. I don't know the purpose in this, but I know that he brought, in the 11 months that he was here, people so much joy. And again, he was such a fighter. And I know that one day I will see him again. But right now, I have a purpose on this earth to do God's will. But I know when it's my time to go, he's one of the people I am looking forward to seeing. Yeah, so I just want to share that experience. How I even want to say that I remember reading the Bible, and I was talking to my brother about this. I was like, wait a minute. Job lost his children in the beginning. Yes, he got everything back in the end, but he lost his children. And I remember saying when Nehemiah was alive, I said, Lord, I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose him because I don't want a replacement. I still don't want Nehemiah to be replaced. But I do remember that moment when I read that and I said that he in his season he lost his children. And I said to myself that wasn't going to be Nehemiah. I was like, I'm not going to lose Nehemiah because I stood on faith. I stood on every word or every healing word that I could stand on, and the outcome was not what I wanted it to be, but I know that God is good and he knows my pain and he is healing me, and I'm learning so much about myself, and I'm learning so much about expectancy, meaning that even though you want something to happen and you pray for something to happen, other factors can get in the way of that. And in this case, I wasn't Nehemiah's mother. So I didn't have a lot of rights to some stuff. But I know that Nehemiah is with God, and he wouldn't want to be back on this earth. I always say that. I always say, like, even if he could, he probably wouldn't want to be back on this earth. He gets to be in heaven with my mom. So I know that she's taking care of him. But yeah, so I want to share that experience of my Job 1:18 and 19. How Job he lost his children, and in that he still stated that God was good. So, yeah, just want to share that. All right.